Hi guys, it's Shelly here. So I realized that I didn't make an intro for this cake. I just jumped right into it. But I just want to let you know that this is a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cake. It was by far one of the most complicated cakes that I've ever made. Even considering that I've done sculpted cakes, this one gave me a lot of trouble. But I hope that this video does justice and it helps you whether you're making a square cake or it gives you ideas on what to do with an anime cake, or even if you want ideas on how to make a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cake. There's not a whole lot out there, so I had to create this one all by myself, which I really love doing. I love it when my clients put me to a challenge, and this one really was a challenge. So anyway, I really hope you enjoy the video, and please subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff so that I can continue making videos like this. Without further ado, here comes the video. Bippity, boppity, boo! Hmm. 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 Bippity, boppity, boo! One of the key elements to making a cake leveled is making sure that your filling is properly filled. Otherwise, your whole structure could just fall apart, especially with square cakes. The structure in a square cake has to be so sound, otherwise your cake will, first of all, not be leveled, not be squared, and second of all, you will not get good edges when you're icing your cake. I tried not to panic when that little edge came off my cake. You can easily just repair the cake with some buttercream, so don't worry if parts of your cake starts falling down. My cakes didn't rise up enough as I thought they were going to, so the images weren't the same size that I needed, so I had to add an extra layer. Thankfully, I had made extra cake, so I just put an extra layer on top. I could already tell that I was having trouble with the cake, with the size, and with it being completely leveled and straight and getting it completely squared. So I called in reinforcements to help me because he is a pro at measuring and sizing so that I can get the cake as square as possible. The crumb coat took a really long time to get it just so, but the next step is by far the hardest part of making this cake. Alright, so you remember how I said that the filling is the most important key to making sure that your cake is stable? A lot of times bakers make it look really easy, and that's why you see in a lot of their videos they don't put a whole lot of fancy fillings in the middle of it. When you're adding little mini cookies to it, you're creating gaps inside the cake. So the cake is going to start to settle, especially overnight. And so when it starts to settle, the cake will start becoming wobbly. So the layers of cake might even slide. And when you pull the cake out of the fridge, the cake is no longer a square shape. And that's why I put bubble straws in the cake to prevent the cake from sliding as best as it can. So here I'm trying to put on the second coat, and then I go into the third coat. And I am chilling it in between. I just couldn't get those edges completely straight. So I was getting frustrated, and I worked on that for several hours, just trying to get the buttercream as straight as possible. So just keep that in mind the next time that you try to make a square cake. Try not to put anything inside the filling as far as something that's going to mess up the structure of the cake. Try to keep it mainly buttercream. If you're going to do Oreo, I would suggest just doing the Oreo buttercream and not doing the whole pieces of Oreos. And if you are, make sure you have enough buttercream to fill in the gaps in between those Oreos. At this point, the buttercream was still not as straight as I wanted it to be. There were still a lot of gaps, and it wasn't flat. So what you can't see is me using a frying pan, and I boiled water, and I took that offset spatula, and I dipped it in the hot water and wiped it off with a paper towel, and then scraped the edges of the cake from the bottom going up to make the buttercream as smooth as possible. And that helped so much. I wish I would have thought about it sooner, but I'm glad that I remembered, and it is such a great technique. So keep that in mind when you're making a square cake. It also works on round cakes too. When I was applying the checkered wafer paper to the sides of the mini cake, I wasn't in camera's view, so you didn't get to see me doing that. But basically all I used was water and a brush and added it to the side of the cake. So that's it, guys. That completes my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cake. You watched me have fun and you watched me struggle. Just wanted to show and prove to you all that baking a cake is not as easy as it looks. I want to be brutally honest and show you what it's like from start to finish and tell you the ins and outs on making a cake, whether it's easy or hard. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Happy baking, and I wish you luck on your next adventure. See you next time.